So we're checking in and updating people on the criminality and evilness of Aaron Smith Levin and Damien. But Damien may be a little bit more unfamiliar to people, so I will just do a very brief synopsis of his trashy Hollywood gaslighting campaign that he's been doing for decades. So let me be very clear. Damien's not a good guy. Also, that's not even who he is. Yeah, he's a whole mess. If you want more information, more little juicy details, I'll do that for channel members. But I want to say very clearly that this is a very difficult case. Three young kids were viciously murdered. It is what it is. Decades ago, Damien and two cohorts were found guilty of the crime. And although I do think Damien is a full blown crazed Satanist, and he's gaslighting people and has been lying to people for decades and is a very tricky, deceptive, violent customer, very aggressive. If you go through his whole case and his whole background, he's a very disturbed, deranged psychopath. However, two things can be true that the state of Arkansas basically, radically committed a lot of injustices, did not carry out a really fair, much less competent investigation, and railroaded these kids, right? And again, they're not totally innocent either, but they were also very young. And Damien, I don't feel sorry for him for the time he served. However, I don't think he's actually guilty. So Damien, for years and years, has wanted more DNA testing to happen to clear his name. And apparently, this is how brilliant the Arkansas police have been. Oh, there's a piece of missing evidence that's been there for decades that they never bothered to check up on. Yeah. So two things can be true: that the Arkansas legal system is a joke and completely corrupt. Damien may be a psychopathic Satanist, but he probably did not commit those crimes. But I want to give a very explicit acknowledgement to Doug Scott Kramer, rest in peace, as well as William Ramsey, who have done excellent work showing that the HBO documentaries that mythologize and deify Damien as this white Buddha Satanist savior and these stream of movies based on his life story are just lots of propaganda. Lots of propaganda. But again, Damien is telling the truth that the Arkansas police and the Arkansas legal system is a joke and very corrupt, and they put him in jail based on really nothing. However, that doesn't make him totally innocent. So I don't think he committed this crime, killing those kids, but this is one tricky customer who's hooked up with a lot of hardcore Satanists and neo Scientologists in Hollywood. So, not to be trusted. Not a good guy, not a nice guy. But apparently, the case is moving forward. There's going to be a hearing to test some new evidence. In 2021, there was a box that was discovered that contains the shoelaces that were used to tie the boys up. Yeah, it's a very vicious set of killings. It's YouTube. I can't really go into any details. You can Google it. It is really harsh. So just have a strong stomach. It is some pretty grotesque things that happened to these kids. These were not just murders, these were some really vicious murders, which inclines me to think it's not Damien. He does have a violent history, right, including animal torture, but I don't think even he's capable of this. It does seem like a professional job. And again, I'm not here to do conspiracy panic, but it would literally be maybe someone with the CIA, some really hardcore Satanist, another cult, perhaps a professional serial killer. It's that level of audacity with the crime. So it's a very serious matter. And I don't believe Damien cares about the truth or is helping those kids or their families. But it is such a weird, mysterious case. We literally have people missing. Like one of the more likely suspects, who's one of the father of one of these kids, is gone. Literally, he's disappeared. We can't find him. He's gone. So this is a really weird case where people just keep disappearing. But Damien stays in Hollywood making money selling fake black magic Buddha nonsense to his simps. So it's disturbing all around, but it is good that at least more evidence is going to be tested. We're going to get a better, fuller picture, and it does incline us to think he is innocent because why would he want more evidence to be tested if it's going to find him guilty? That doesn't make any sense. So I do think they're good faith. Damien is innocent of the crime, but I don't think he has no knowledge. I think he knows a lot more than he is claiming, and he's protecting some nasty customers. So I don't trust him. I don't think you should trust him. But again, it is good that the Arkansas courts may be testing new evidence, and we will get a little bit more information on this very deeply disturbing case. And that brings us to Aaronis, who, to be fair, is not connected to anything as bad as a triple homicide, but has been tied to a lot of crimes of the church, which you might think he'd be busy exposing, but instead he's playing chalk games with Jenna, his concubine, and they're having a good old time just stalking and harassing Scientologists, yelling at them, screaming at them, and because, kids can't consent, uh, capturing kids on camera, because that's what Aaronis likes to do, capture the Scientology kids and mock them and their religion, and that's really going to stop the real crimes of the church. Oh, wait, no, it's not doing that. So, anyway, Nora did an okayish response to a lot of Aaron's stupidity and predatory activities. And again, although I don't like Nora because he's also a deranged maniac, I would agree that yes, what Aaron is doing is very disturbing. And his latest salvo now is to reopen this old war with Claire Headley and the Aftermath Foundation for reasons. So, do I think that seriously Aaron, like Damien, is part of any mass murder campaign directly? No. But do I think he's totally innocent? No. I think Aaron knows many crimes that were committed in Scientology, many crimes he probably participated in, and he's not going to talk about that because it doesn't work with his own Hollywood psychopathic image. Although, to be fair to Aaron, he's not a Satanist. He may be a fascist, but he's not a Satanist. So anyway, so both Damien and Aaron are playing the algorithm and fooling their Twitter and YouTube followers that really they're big, evil Buddhist clown people who are trying to save children. Hey, if you want to buy the grift, by all means. I mean, it's your money. Although, what exactly is Aaronis doing to save the children? Playing with chalk and painting, and wait for it. This happened recently. So he was getting into a yelling match with a female Scientologist, and so they were just yelling, going back and forth. Aaronis literally went to his camera, picked it up, and tried to approach the woman, and then came like, "Oh my God, guys! Once again, Aaronis was assaulted and hurt. I am the victim. I am. Uh, how do I survive?" That woman was much smaller than him, and Aaron, if you think you're in danger or you're a victim, or why are you approaching with the camera? He literally took time from his paint chalk nonsense to stop, go to the camera, pick it up, and then follow the woman. I'm like, that doesn't seem like the behavior or affectations of someone who's in fear of their life or fear that they're going to be the victim of a deadly assault. That just feels like a fake clown man pretending, oh, and the woman, oh my lord, I am the victim of women. I don't victimize women. I'm the victim of the violence. Aaronis does not consent. He even full on kind of did a weird lie truth admission on TikTok saying, well, when you look at it closely, what happened is she was trying to strike my camera. She was trying to slap my camera. She ended up slapping me. Well, Aaron, in a court of law, a judge as well as the police are going to ask stupid questions like, wait, how are you so close to this woman that she was going to slap your camera? Oh, because, I was trying to put the camera in her face. No, that's my job. I'm Aaronis. I'm here to save children. And it's like, well, why not just keep your distance? No, see, my audience, they love it. I chase down the female Scientology. They love it. I make a lot of money that way. That's what I do. No, I can't keep the camera at a distance. No, I mean, no, I'm Aaronis. I can't do that. So you're literally admitting to your TikTok people you were getting closer and closer to this woman, that she was in proximity to do the slapping. Well, if you cared about your camera and bodice, maybe just step back. Keep your distance. Right? That's going to matter in a legal case. That, if he actually goes through with this, that he's literally the victim of assault and battery. Right? It's like, well, if you're getting closer and closer to your attacker, questions are going to be raised like, well, how fearful are you of your life or your bodily integrity? I mean, maybe step away from the woman who allegedly you think is a danger. Just saying. Just saying. So anyway, so I think Nora made some solid points that he does seem to have this history of, and by the way, she's not any better. Suddenly she cares about the female Scientologist and the female ex-Scientologist. No, that's not her history. So anyway, when her friends, this is Nora, not Aaron, when Nora's friends terrorize the female Scientologist and Scientologists in general, that's good activism. But when Aaron does it, it's bad. I agree. When Aaron does it, it's bad. He is just putting on a clown show and really distorting how dangerous and evil Scientology is. This is an organization, again, allegedly, that does murder people, right? Allegedly, right? Now, I don't know of any similar case, good or bad, like the West Memphis Three, but there are cases where the evidence is strong that they have committed murder. Maybe nothing as grotesque or as vicious as three young kids in one place at one time, but very similar cases. Very similar cases. And Aaron is, no, I'm just going to play with my concubine and my chalk and yell at a female Scientologist and play yuck yuck with my audience and pretend, oh no, I'm the victim of assault. No, as we close off, Aaron, there are cases like Johnny Depp is actually very recent and prominent where men can be the victim of violence by women. It does happen. It does happen. And it's a very serious case. There's no evidence that that's what happened. It's you just acting like an online predator, very cynically exploiting these women for money, which, that's the marketplace, that's Google, that's YouTube. But really, to pretend that you're somehow a victim in any real serious sense of female violence, again, I don't like Nora. She's a faker. She's a liar. She's a manipulator. But really, that is really quite silly and stupid. That's quite silly and stupid. There's no evidence of that. But if there is, please provide receipts that for years and years you've been the victim of women coming after. Please provide some receipts there.